and I didn't get to the phone, and I just heard him say, Gokula, call. So I go to call him back, and I dialed the wrong number. But I thought it was him. I go, all right, well, all glories to Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. And the other person goes, what? What? Oh, sorry. The way he said it was so like, what? It was fun. You have to be. Anyway. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari. Suranandana Pradajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Pradajana Ranjana Ramuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari. Suranandana Pradajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Pradajana Ranjana Ramuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Pradajana Yashodanandana Pradajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Gaur Premananda
Hari Hari Bol.
So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiriye.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, we should first offer our respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, to Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, and to Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master and founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we're reading chapter 16, the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, how Parikshit received the age of Kali. And this has, I'm just going to do the first verse. There's 5 verses that list the qualities. I haven't actually read it. Yes, it's the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Vaishnavas. So, Satyam,
Satyam,
Saucham,
Socham,
Daya,
Daya,
Shanti,
Shanti,
Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Shanti,
Satyam, Socham, Daya, Shanti,
Tyaga, Santosha,
Santosha,
Arjavam,
Arjavam,
Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam,
Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam,
Samo,
Samo,
Damas,
Damas,
Tapa,
Tapa,
Samya,
Samya,
Samo, Damas, Tapa, Samya,
Samo, Damas, Tapa, Samyam,
Titiksho, Parati,
Titiksho, Parati,
Shrutam,
Shrutam,
Titiksho, Parati, Shrutam,
Titiksho, Parati, Shrutam,
Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Shanti,
Satyam, Socham, Daya, Shanti,
Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam,
Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam,
Samo, Damas, Tapa, Samyam,
Samodamas, Tapasamyam,
Titiksho, Parati, Shrutam.
Titiksho, Parati, Shrutam.
So this is Mother Earth talking to Dharma, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so one more time. Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Shanti,
Satyam, Socham, Daya, Shanti,
Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam,
Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam,
Samo, Damas, Tapa, Samyam,
Samodamas, Tapasamyam,
Titiksho, Parati, Shrutam.
Titiksho, Parati, Shrutam.
Yeah, so I missed yesterday because I was I was doing my car thing. So Dharma just asked Mother Earth a question, and now she's answering the question, right?
Yes.
This is the answers.
Right.
So as Mother, you are the reservoir of all riches. Please inform me of the root cause of your tribulations by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. I think that the powerful influence of time, which conquers the most powerful, might have forcibly taken away all your fortune, which was adored even by the demigods. And then she begins to answer, I guess this was yesterday, which I missed. Bhavan, the earthly deity, in the form of a cow, thus replied to the personality of religious principles in the form of a bull. O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me shall be known to you. I shall try to reply to all these questions once you too were maintained by your 4 legs and you increased happiness all over the universe by the mercy of the Lord. So, as we've already stated, that he's standing on 1 leg. And so there's where it says that in Dwapara Yuga, remember I mentioned it the day before that? It's where in Treta Yuga he lost 1 leg, and then in Dwapara Yuga he loses 2, and then in Kali Yuga he's just got the 1. By the end of the age, he'll be down to the 0 point. So there's actually 4 other Sanskrit verses. I'll just read them. Jnanam viraktir aishvaryam soryam tejo balam smriti svantam triyam kaushalam kantir dairam siddharyam mardavam evacha pragalbyam prashraya shilam saha ojo balam vaga gambiryam stairyam astikyam. Is that your name?
Yeah.
What does it say? What is it? Where is it?
Faithfulness.
Faithfulness? So, kirti mano naha kritati ete chanye cha bhagavan nitya yatra mahaguna pratya mahatvam ichchadbir na viyanti sma karhichit tenaham guna patrena Srinivasena sampratam sochami rahitam lokam pa mana kaline shitam. So the translations, I'll just read all of them, and then I think it'd be take too much time. Do you want to repeat after me, or should I just read through them? It's quite a bit.
No,
huh?
No, it's up to those who don't have their phones out because we can see them.
I can't really see very close that writing.
But we already. Oh, that's right. We haven't chanted that verse.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to chant that one verse?
Yeah, I can try. Satyam Saucham Daya Shantis
Satyam Saucham Daya Shantis
Tyaga Santosha Arjavam
Tyaga Santosha Arjavam
Samodamas-tapo Samyam
Samodamas-tapo Samyam
Titiksho Parati Shrutam
Titiksho Parati Shrutam
Satyam Shaucham Dayakshantis
Satyam Saucham Daya Shantis
Yaga Santosha Arjavam
Tyaga Santosha Arjavam
Samodamas-tapo Samyam Titiksho Parati Shrutam
Satyam Saucham Daya Shantis
Satyam Saucham Daya Shantis
Tagya
Santosha Arjavam
Tyaga Santosha Arjavam
Samodamas-tapo Samyam
Samodamas-tapo Samyam
Titiksho Parati Shrutam
Titiksho Parati Shrutam.
So it would be just too difficult to just read the one word for word, so I'm just going to read the whole verse. I'll read it slowly. Translation by Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
In him, Krishna, reside 1. Truthfulness, 2. Cleanliness, 3. Intolerance of another's unhappiness, 4. The power to control anger, 5. Self-satisfaction, 6. Straightforwardness, 7. Steadiness of mind, 8. Control of the sense organs, 9. Responsibility, 10. Equality, 11. Tolerance, 12. Equanimity, 13. Faithfulness, 14. knowledge. 15, absence of sense enjoyment. 16, leadership. 7, chivalry. 18, influence. 19, the power to make everything possible. 20, the discharge of proper duty. 21, complete independence. 22, dexterity. 23, fullness of all beauty. 24, serenity. 25, kind-heartedness. 26, ingenuity. 27, gentility. 28, magnanimity. 29, determination. 30, perfection in all knowledge. 31, proper execution. 32, possession of all objects of enjoyment. 33, joyfulness. 34, immovability. 35, fidelity. 36, fame. 37, worship. 38, pridelessness. 39, being, and in parentheses, as the personality of Godhead. So this 39 is being as the personality of Godhead. 40, eternity, and many other transcendental qualities which are eternally present and never to be separated from Him. That personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Shri Krishna, has now closed His transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In His absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. So the purpose, but when somewhere else it states that as Krishna's like the setting sun, when he disappears from planet Earth, he's never disappeared from planet Earth. He's standing right there. He hasn't left. But and you can really feel His presence this morning. You look in His eyes, you can really feel He's there. Thank you. So, then the sun of the rays of the sun of the Srimad Bhagavatam begin to appear. Just as Krishna is leaving, Srimad Bhagavatam is arriving, shining through the darkness of Kali Yuga, the torchlight of knowledge. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Even if it were possible to count the atoms after smashing the earth into powder, still it would not be possible to estimate the unfathomable transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said that Lord Anantadev has tried to expound the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord with his numberless tongues, and that for numberless years together it has been impossible to estimate the qualities of the Lord. The above statement of the qualities of the Lord is just to estimate His qualities as far as a human being is able to see Him. But even if it is so, the above qualities can be divided into many subheadings. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the third quality, intolerance of another's unhappiness, can be subdivided into 1, protection of the surrendered souls, and 2, well wishes for the devotees. So Prabhupada always used to sign your ever well wisher, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So he signed every letter that way. Your ever well wisher. He's always wishing us well. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord states that He wants every soul to surrender unto Him only. And He assures everyone that if one does so, He will give protection from the reactions of all sins. Unsurrendered souls are not devotees of the Lord, and thus there is no particular protection for everyone in general. For the devotees, he has all good wishes. And for those who are actually engaged in loving transcendental service of the Lord, he gives particular attention. He gives direction to such pure devotees to help them discharge their responsibilities on the path to Godhead. By equality 10, that's quality 10, by equality 10, and actually he gives directions to the pure devotees to discharge their responsibilities. So that actually, I thought he was going to probably, when I saw 10, I thought he was going to quote, I think it's in the Bhagavad Gita, it's 10, chapter 10, verse 10, Tesham satatam yuktanam prajatam priti purvakam vidami buddhi yogam. Isn't that, or is that? Look. That's,
So which one of the 10 or 11?
I think it's 10. That so it means that by constant service, he gives you the intelligence for which to come back to him. Or is that really? You see it? Anyway, I'll go on. Let me know. Might be wrong. By equality, 10. The Lord is equally kind to everyone, as the sun is equal in distributing its rays over everyone. Yet there are many who are unable to take advantage of the sun's rays. Similarly, the Lord says that surrendering unto him is the guarantee for all protection from him. But unfortunate persons are unable to accept this proposition, and therefore they suffer from all material miseries. So even though the Lord is equally well-wishing to everyone, the unfortunate living being, due to bad association only, is unable to accept his instructions in toto. And for this, the Lord is never to be blamed. He is called the well-wisher of the devotees only. He appears to be partial to his devotees, but factually, the matter rests on the living being to accept or reject equal treatment by the Lord. Did you find it?
Well, I hate to lose my place here, and I would lose it if I...
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm not looking.
All right. The Lord never deviates from his word of honor. When he gives assurance for protection, the promise is executed in all circumstances. It is the duty of the pure devotee of the Lord, to be fixed in the discharge of the duty entrusted to him by the Lord or the Lord's bona fide representative. The spiritual master, let me read that sentence again. It is the duty of the pure devotee to be fixed in the discharge of the duty entrusted to him by the Lord or the Lord's bona fide representative, the spiritual master. The rest is carried on by the Lord without a break. The responsibility of the Lord is also unique. The Lord has no responsibility because all his work is done by his different appointed energies. But still, he accepts voluntary responsibilities in displaying different roles in his transcendental pastimes. As a boy, he was playing the part of a cowboy. As the son of Nanda Maharaj, my grandson called the other day, and he found out that I lived on a farm, and he said, "I want to be a cowboy." He's only like 3 or 4. Oh, no, he's 4, maybe 5. I want to be. He doesn't really know about all these other. I want to be a cowboy. Okay, sounds like a good plan. Where's that cowboy? So, sort of behaviors. As a boy, he was playing the part of a cowboy. As the son of Nanda Maharaj, he discharged responsibility perfectly. Similarly, when he was playing the part of a Kshatriya as the son of Maharaj Vasudeva, he displayed all the skill of a martially spirited Kshatriya. In almost all cases, the Kshatriya king has to secure a wife by fighting or kidnapping. This sort of behavior for a Kshatriya is praiseworthy in the sense that a Kshatriya must show his power of chivalry. to his would-be wife, so that the daughter of a Kshatriya can see the valor of her would-be husband. Even the personality of Godhead Sri Rama displayed such a spirit of chivalry during his marriage. He broke the strongest bow called Haradanu and achieved the hand of Sita Devi, the mother of all opulence. The Kshatriya spirit is displayed during the marriage festivals, and there's nothing wrong in such fighting. Lord Sri Krishna discharged such responsibilities fully, because although he had more than 16,000 wives, in each and every case he fought like a chivalrous Kshatriya and thus secured a wife. To fight 16,000 times to secure 16,000 wives is certainly possible only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, he displayed full responsibility in every action of his different transcendental qualities. The 14th quality, knowledge, can be further extended into 5 subheadings, namely 1. Intelligence, 2. Gratefulness, 3. Power of understanding the circumstantial environments of place, object, and time, 4. Perfect knowledge of everything, and 5. Knowledge of the self. Only fools are ungrateful to their benefactors. The Lord, however, does not require benefit from anyone besides himself, because he is full in himself. Still, he feels broken-hearted by the unalloyed services.
Does that say benefit?
What did I say?
You said
Broken
broken
hearted.
hearted.
Oh, I'm feeling broken-hearted. I don't know where that came
That's the
from.
manifestation of your ecstasy.
I don't know what it was. It's a senior moment. He is full in himself. Still, he feels benefited by the unalloyed services of his devotees. The Lord feels grateful to his devotees for such unsophisticated, unconditional service, and tries to reciprocate it by rendering service, although the devotee also has no such desire in his heart. The transcendental service of the Lord is itself a transcendental benefit for the devotee, and therefore the devotee has nothing to expect from the Lord. It's like when Krishna said to the gopis, he says, I can't, there's no way I can pay you back for your service. And their response is, this is it. The service is the payment. The fact that we have this opportunity to serve you and see, that's all we require. Sometimes in devotional service, our service is mixed with karma kanda. I put in my time, and then I expect some result, other than more service. But the more service is actually, that is the payment. The transcendental service of the Lord is itself a transcendental benefit for the devotee, and therefore the devotee has nothing to expect from the Lord. On the assertion of the Vedic aphorism, Sarvam Klav Idam Brahma, we can understand that the Lord, by the omnipresent rays of his effulgence, called Brahma Jyoti, is all-pervading inside or outside of everything, like the omnipresent material sky, and thus he is omniscient. As far as the beauty of the Lord is concerned, well, just look. Right there. He has some special features that distinguish him from all living beings, and over and above that, he has some special, attractive, beautiful features by which he attracts the mind of even Radharani, the supermost beautiful creation of the Lord. He is known, therefore, as Madan Mohan, or one who attracts the mind of even Cupid. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has scrutinizingly analyzed other transcendental qualities of the Lord and affirms that Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead, Para Brahman. He is omnipotent by his inconceivable energies, and therefore he is the Yogeshwara, or the supreme master of all mystic powers. Being the Yogeshwara, his eternal form is spiritual, a combination of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. The non-devotee class cannot understand the dynamic nature of his knowledge because they are satisfied to reach up to his eternal form of knowledge. All great souls aspire to be equal in knowledge with him. This means that all other knowledge is ever insufficient, flexible, and measurable, whereas the knowledge of the Lord is ever fixed and unfathomable. So how can you actually reach this unfathomable? It's always increasing. Srila Sutta Goswami affirms in the Bhagavatam that although he was observed by the citizens of Dwarka every day, they were ever increasingly anxious to see him again and again. There was never like, oh, I saw him yesterday. They couldn't wait. Every moment was like 12 years. The living beings can appreciate the qualities of the Lord as the ultimate goal, but they cannot attain the status quo of such equality. This material world is a product of the Mahatattva, which is a state of the Lord's dreaming condition in his Yoga Nidra, mystic slumber in the causal ocean. And yet, the whole creation appears to be a factual presentation of his creation. This means that the Lord's dreaming conditions are also factual manifestations. He can therefore bring everything under his transcendental control. And thus, whenever and wherever he does appear, he does so in his fullness. The Lord, being all that is described above, maintains the affairs of the creation, and by so doing, he gives salvation even to his enemies who are killed by him. He is attractive even to the topmost liberated soul, and thus he is worshipable by Brahma and Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Even in his incarnation of Purusha avatar, he is the Lord of the creative energy. The creative material energy is working under his direction, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10. He is the control switch of the material energy. And to control the material energy in the innumerable universes, he is the root cause of innumerable incarnations in all the universes. There are more than 500,000 incarnations of Manu in only one universe, besides other incarnations in different universes. In the spiritual world, however, beyond the Mahatattva, there is no question of incarnations, but there are plenary expansions of the Lord in different Vaikunthas. The planets in the spiritual sky are at least 3 times the number of those within the innumerable universes in the Mahatattva. And all the Narayan forms of the Lord are but expansions of his Vasudeva feature. And thus he is Vasudeva, Narayan, and Krishna simultaneously. He is Sri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murare, He Nata Narayana, Vasudeva, all in one. His qualities therefore cannot be counted by anyone, however great one may be. That Sri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murare, the devotees, after Prabhupada had been away for the first time, and when they were first separated from him. So they read that, and then they thought, oh, when he comes, we'll surprise him and sing it. And Prabhupada, and I've actually heard, when I was living in Tennessee, this Indian community, sometimes some of the ladies will sing it. And when Prabhupada heard the devotees sing it, he said, where did you hear that? He said, well, we read it in your purport, Prabhupada. He said, so, no, this is not bona fide mantra. Only bona fide mantra is mantra that you receive from your spiritual master. So
they were chanting it as a mantra? Or?
they were like say we chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, like that. So Prabhupada said, and that's how we got that Panchatattva mantra, because then Prabhupada said, so this is not bona fide to sing this mantra. They thought, well, it's in the Bhagavatam, and it's names of Krishna. And I've heard Indian ladies in Murfreesboro singing it.
Yeah, it's a part of a song, but it's not a mantra.
But they'll just sing that line.
Oh, only that line?
Yeah. But I remember hearing this one devotee explain how they were doing it. I think it was Madhusudan. I call him Madhusudan, but I think it's Madhusudan. He's from 26 2nd Avenue. And so Prabhupada said, no, but if you want, do you want another mantra to chant? And they go, oh yes, Prabhupada, yes. So then he introduced Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura, like that. So that was, but you see, the first thing that strikes me, I mean, there's so much in this purport, and at points I thought I should just stop and do a little bit at a time, but it's just so all-encompassing. To hear it all, and to hear all of these qualities, which is just a speck of the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, growing up, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, but other faiths, you can see how they pale in comparison. That what is your description of God? He's the Alpha and Omega. He's the Father. It's very this is unlimited. And how can you make this up? You can't make this up. And whoever did make it up is definitely worshipable. There's so much information about everything you need to know about the Supreme Personality of God. As a child, I was, growing up in a very strict Roman Catholic family, and always, in those days it was a very serious matter about the simultaneous one and difference, the Trinity, this mystery of the Father, the Son, and they used to say the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit now, that they're simultaneously one and different. And I always wanted to know, what's the Father? Who's the Father? And sometimes they see something of someone on the throne with a crown but no face, maybe just like a light, or a white beard, long hair, long white hair beard, or an old man. But God is eternally youthful. He's like 16, 20 years old. He's ever fresh, ever beautiful. His beauty is so attractive that people just give up all other cares and desires. They forget about, wanting to be the controller of the entire universe or having all mystic powers. Nothing matters. Looking at Krishna's lotus feet in his form and his lotus eyes, everything is just there. Everything is complete. You feel complete and fully satisfied. There's no question of not wanting to constantly drink in his vision and get his darshan. But to develop these qualities, these are the qualities, of course, these are the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But as devotees, by associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his form and his name and his pastimes and his pure devotees, then that is actually our qualities as well, in a minute way. Not that we're particles of God, so we have the same qualities. Like a tiny piece of gold has the same quality as the gold mine, but it's just a small particle of it. So the jivas we have these qualities, but we decided to go and live in this inferior energy of the Lord. We are actually living with death. we're living, because the material energy is dead. And we live within a dead body. The only reason the dead body appears to be alive is because we, the spirit soul, is there. Don't look at me with one eye, please. You were looking at me with one eye. You had your hand over your...
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, it was hurting, sorry.
I'm sorry.
What's that called?
I don't know. But I've seen Jack talking. I've seen Prabhupada. Actually, Prabhupada twice. One devotee was getting initiation, and he was scratching his eye, and Prabhupada said, don't
do that.
And,
Okay.
and
What's that?
It's like,
it's just it's an inauspicious way.
yeah, I understand, sorry.
So,
Thank you.
and so, what was I saying?
The dead body.
Yeah, we're living inside this dead body. And I've been recently listening to discussions about artificial intelligence. And it's actually the biggest issue facing humanity at the time, more than climate change, more than nuclear armaments, more than economic problems, this artificial intelligence issue. And but it's also, I heard one devotee, it's interesting because first I heard a devotee about a month ago talking about some kind of seminar he went to where the topic was artificial intelligence and faith. And then I heard recently on a radio talk show, someone had written a book, 21 either solutions or problems facing the 21st century. And artificial intelligence was the main principal issue we were discussing. So this concept of artificial intelligence, I just briefly, because it's almost time already, but it's a very, it's a complex issue, but it's also a very simple issue. And what it comes down to really is that, just as like let's say during in the 30s and 20s, how in Germany the Nazis used the radio for propaganda. So now this concept of artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence basically, it's algorithms, and algorithms are mathematical equations, and it's basically like a recipe, and it's depending on what it is you're trying to understand, or either that or to manipulate or control, whether it's something for, like say in the stock market, or climate change, maybe even artificial intelligence has to do also with these self-driving cars. Our power grids are now pretty much being run by artificial intelligence, and there's so many things that are in our lives. But they're saying that what happens, like this whole issue, say right now, the political issue, which I don't want to get into that, but what the Russians, they did, their collusion, okay? Well, what it is that with artificial intelligence, they can hack your brain. They can understand, like through the social networks and computers, they can understand who you are better than you do. And that is what Maya does. Maya knows what our tendencies, that we're in the inferior energy of God, and this energy is dead. But it has three qualities: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And there's various combinations of it. And Maya sees our tendencies, and she gives us opportunities to experience, say you really like eating. So Maya gives you more facility for becoming a glutton, And gradually then you even get better facility for it in the lower mode, in the lower body. Or say, though, that you're very interested in understanding and knowledge. So then you get more information about, either, philosophical points or intellectual discourses, and you go to the mode of goodness more. So, in Greek philosophy, I think it was Socrates, was it? Or Plato said, know thyself. To know thyself. And unless you know yourself, and that you are not a product of this material world, you are hackable by the material energy. And right now, by the corporations or the political parties that control artificial intelligence, they turn you against each other. They'll feed you information. Like, just say if I'm against immigration. And so then it will feed me, artificial intelligence, somebody who has a desire to control people in a certain way and create friction within society. They will feed you information that may not even be true about this immigrant who got in illegally, and he's from a certain type of country, and he committed these awful, atrocious crimes. Knowing that your neighbor is a very liberal person and is an immigrant. And that person has different views, and they feed them false stories and creates friction and tension within our society. But also, we have to understand how Maya is working in the same way. We are basically it's like virtual reality. The games themselves, like these video games, you enter into virtual reality and you assume a persona. And in that persona, you have, whether it's, say, a war game or whatever type of game this particular virtual reality is, you have your fears, you have friends, you have your allies, and you have to accomplish certain missions, and you start to identify with this virtual world and this virtual identity. And then, if at a certain point, all of a sudden, you're killed, and now your identity is finished, you feel the same emotions as you would in this world, which is also a virtual world. This isn't the reality. This is a virtual world. The example of Ranjana, the soul, is living in the city of 9 gates. So we are in a virtual world, and Maya is the artificial intelligence. And when at the end, if you're killed, then you get the chance to go and do it again. You can either play again or not. You can get free from the cycle, or you can stay in the game. So, while if we understand, like in the beginning of the purport, it's described how that this world appears to be real, but it's a reflection of the real world, the spiritual world. But sometimes you'll see a reflection of something, and it appears to be the real thing. But actually, when you look at it, it's just the reflection of something that's over there. It's not the real thing. We're in the reflection of reality. And the only hope for us to defeat Maya, who's tempting us through her very artificial desires and artificial necessities and attractions within this material world, is to hear and chant about these qualities of God and these pastimes of God and the holy name of God. And to understand the nature, to know who we are, to know what this world is, to know that this is the virtual world, not the real world, and to understand who is the real controller of this material energy. That we are in a we are living in a dead body, in a dead world, and we are eternal, and this world has really no pleasure, and we are eternally blissful, and this world deteriorates and grows old, and we never grow old. We're always young. So there's always a conflict within ourselves. That's how we know that we don't belong here. Because the chair doesn't care if it grows old. The chair doesn't care if it doesn't know what's going on in the room. The chair doesn't care about those things. But we care because we are not the body. We are not inferior energy. We are marginal energy. We are a product of this. We are a particle of the superior energy. And so the solution to getting out of this virtual game is to hear and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, the pastimes of the Lord in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and hear about the qualities of pure devotees and the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.